Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I want to start today with something that's been on my mind for a really long time. Every single morning, millions of parents across this country are rushing around packing lunches, pouring cereal, grabbing juice boxes, thinking they're giving their kids a great start to the day. But here's the hard truth that I see in my clinic every single week. Some of those healthy breakfast choices are actually setting your child up for fatigue, brain fog, frequent colds, and even long-term digestive issues. And honestly, it breaks my heart because I know every parent is trying their best. I know that sounds like a big claim, it sounds harsh, and I get that. But stick with me because I want to break this down in a way that actually makes sense. And I promise by the end of this video, you're going to feel empowered to make some simple, practical changes that really work. You're not going to feel judged, you're going to feel informed. Let's start with a question. Have you ever noticed your child looks pale, complains of being tired all the time, catches every single cold that goes around school, or comes home and just collapses on the couch instead of playing outside? Maybe they're falling asleep in class or they just can't concentrate on their homework no matter how hard they try. If that sounds familiar, I want you to think about what they ate for breakfast this morning. Because what you put in that bowl or that glass first thing in the morning is literally the foundation for their entire day. It's not just about filling their stomach, it's about fueling their brain, their immune system, and their growth. Now, I'm going to borrow a concept from traditional medicine that I find incredibly useful in my practice. Because it matches what I see biologically in my patients every day, there's this idea that your digestive system is like a warehouse for your whole body. It's the central hub that receives, processes, and distributes every single nutrient you take in, and it has specific hours when it's most active and most efficient. In the morning, between roughly 7 and 11 a.m., that system is at its peak performance. What you eat during that window is what fuels your energy, your immune system, your mood, your focus, and your resilience for the rest of the day. It's not just a meal, it's the foundation. Think of it like farming. If you plant poor quality seeds in the spring, you're not going to get a good harvest in the fall. It's exactly the same with breakfast. If you start your day with the wrong fuel, your body simply cannot produce the energy and vitality it needs to get through the day. And this isn't just about kids. If you're an adult feeling increasingly drained, having trouble getting through the afternoon without that third cup of coffee, or just feeling often tired all the time, your breakfast could be a huge part of that puzzle. I see this in adults just as much as I see it in children. So let me ask you directly, what does your family typically eat in the morning? I hear a lot of answers in my office. Milk and cereal, a granola bar grabbed on the way out the door, a glass of orange juice, a bagel with cream cheese, a smoothie from the blender, maybe a bowl of oatmeal from those flavored packets that are full of sugar. And the parents always say to me, but doc, the box says it's packed with vitamins. It says it's a good source of calcium and fiber, it's fortified, it's got all these nutrients listed right on the front. And I get why you'd think that the marketing is incredibly powerful. They spend millions of dollars to make you believe that. But I'm telling you, a lot of these conventional breakfast foods are actually stressing out your child's digestive system more than a questionable fast food meal would. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I know. Why am I so confident saying that? Because an occasional stomach bug or a questionable meal is temporary. Your body flushes it out in a day or two, you feel better, and you move on. But these everyday breakfast habits, they're like a slow leak in a tire. They don't cause immediate pain, so you don't notice them. There's no warning light that goes off, but day after day, week after week, month after month, they gradually weaken your child's internal engine. And by the time you see the signs, frequent illness, poor sleep, low energy, skin issues, trouble focusing, mood swings, the damage has been building for months or even years. And undoing that damage takes time, patience, and consistency. It's much easier to prevent it than to reverse it. In traditional medicine, there's a concept called yang qi, and I like to explain it to my patients as your body's internal warmth and metabolic fire. This is the energy that powers your immune system, drives your digestion, keeps your brain sharp, regulates your mood, and basically keeps you alive and thriving. There's an ancient text that compares it to the sun, and think about that for a second. Without the sun, nothing grows. Without your internal warmth, your body simply cannot function properly. You lose that, and everything goes downhill. Your energy, your moodity, your digestion, even your long-term health. It affects literally everything. And kids, they're like little seedlings. They need that warmth to grow strong, tall, and resilient. When you give them cold, heavy processed foods first thing in the morning, it's like pouring cold water on a small fire that's just starting to build. It weakens that internal warmth right when they need it most. It's not about being dramatic, it's about understanding basic physiology. So let's get into the three biggest culprits I see in my practice. And I want you to really listen because this is where we can make a difference starting tomorrow morning. These are the three most common breakfast mistakes I see. And they're so easy to fix once you know what to look for. Number one, cold milk with cereal. I can't tell you how many families I see where this is the daily routine. It's fast, it's cheap, the kids love it, and it's been marketed as healthy for generations. And the commercials make it look so wholesome, right? A happy, smiling kid with a big spoonful of colorful cereal, a tall glass of cold milk, a sunny kitchen. It's the American dream, right? But let's unpack what's really happening here from a physiological perspective. First, understand this. Your digestive system is a warm, muscular organ that works best when it's warm. It's literally a furnace. When you wake up in the morning, your internal fire is just starting to build, your stomach is empty, your digestive enzymes are just starting to ramp up. Now imagine pouring a whole glass of cold milk right into that warm furnace. The temperature drops immediately. That slows down the digestive enzymes. It causes the muscles in the stomach to contract more than they should, and it basically puts the brakes on the entire digestive process. It's like trying to cook a meal on a stove that's been turned down to low. It takes much longer and it doesn't work as well. Now, you might say, okay, what if I take the chill off? What if I use room temperature milk? And I appreciate that you're thinking about it. But the issue here isn't just temperature, it's the nature of the food itself. Cow's milk is biologically designed for a baby calf. Calves have 4 stomachs and double their birth weight in a matter of weeks. We are not calves. A calf's digestive system is completely different from a human's, and for many people, cow's milk protein is difficult to break down. In traditional medicine, milk is considered to be damp and cooling. What does that mean in plain English? It means for a lot of people, it creates mucus, it coats the digestive tract, it makes it harder to absorb nutrients, and it often leads to that constant postnasal drip, the throat clearing, the recurrent ear infections, and the endless runny noses that so many kids have. Have you noticed that? I see it in my practice all the time. I'll have a parent bring in a kid with chronic congestion and they'll say, he doesn't have allergies. We tested him for everything. And I'll ask, what does he drink every day? And 9 times out of 10, they're downing a tall glass of milk at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When they cut back significantly or switch to an unsweetened plant-based alternative like oat milk, the congestion often clears up within a couple of weeks. It's not magic, it's not a supplement. It's just matching your diet to your biology. It's listening to what your body is telling you. And then there's the cereal. Please just walk with me to the cereal aisle of your local Walmart or Target. Pick up a box of a popular cereal marketed to kids. Look at the colorful box, the cartoon character, the promises of vitamins and minerals, then flip it over and read the ingredient list carefully. Do you see things like sugar, high fructose corn syrup, artificial dyes, preservatives, BHT, and other chemicals you can't pronounce? Those aren't foods. They're chemicals that your child's body doesn't even recognize as food. The digestive system has to work incredibly hard to process and eliminate those foreign substances. That uses up massive amounts of energy that should be going to brain development, immune function, and physical growth. And even if the cereal says whole grain, it's been so heavily processed that most of the nutrients are stripped away and they just spray synthetic vitamins back on at the end. It's like eating a cardboard box that has a multivitamin sprinkled on top. It fills your stomach, but it doesn't give you real life-giving energy. You feel full. But your cells are still hungry for real nutrition. It's a calorie deficit with a full stomach. Number 2, fresh fruit juice. Oh, this one is tough because I know so many parents think they're doing something wonderful. I really get it. They buy organic apples. They break out the fancy juicer they got as a wedding gift. They spend a lot of money on organic produce. They feel so good handing a glass of fresh, homemade juice to their child. It feels like love. I totally get the intention, and I'm not saying fruit is bad. Fruit is wonderful. It's a gift from nature, but the way we consume it is absolutely key. Here's the thing. An apple has fiber. That fiber is crucial. It slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. When you eat a whole apple, you're chewing, you're getting that fiber, and the natural sugar is released slowly over about 15 to 20 minutes. Your blood sugar rises gently and steadily, and your body has plenty of time to handle it. It's a gentle wave, but when you juice that apple, you're removing all that precious fiber and basically just extracting the sugar water. To make one standard glass of juice, you usually need 3 or 4 whole pieces of fruit. So you're giving your child the equivalent sugar of 3 or 4 apples, but with zero fiber to slow it down. That sugar hits their bloodstream like a fire hose. What happens next is completely predictable. Their blood sugar spikes through the roof. Their pancreas releases a huge burst of insulin to bring it down as fast as possible, and then their blood sugar crashes just as dramatically. That crash is what causes the classic mid-morning slump, the sudden fatigue, the intense hunger, the crankiness, the inability to focus, the meltdowns. They're literally experiencing a sugar high and then a sugar low before they even get to lunch. And if that juice is cold, now you've added the temperature shock on top of the sugar shock. It's a double hit to that warm digestive fire we talked about. It shocks the system in 2 different ways at the same time. And a lot of parents ask me, what about smoothies? What about vegetable and fruit blends? Those have the fiber, right? And I'd say a smoothie with the whole fruit is definitely better than juice because you keep the fiber. That's a step in the right direction. But here's another nuance I want you to understand. When you blend a bunch of different fruits and vegetables together, apples, celery, cucumber, carrots, kale, pineapple, beets, you're creating a very complex mix that your digestive system has to sort through all at once. Different foods require different digestive environments and different enzymes. When you throw them all together, it's like asking a chef to make a 10-course meal all at the same time on one small burner. It's confusing to your system. The different components can actually interfere with each other's digestion, leading to fermentation in the gut. That fermentation creates gas, bloating, and what we call in traditional medicine turbid energy, which basically means brain fog, physical heaviness, and that awful feeling of being tired but wired at the same time. It's not the end of the world, but it's not optimal. Number 3, fried breakfast foods with sweetened soy milk. This one's a big one, especially for families on the go. You're running late for work, you're trying to get the kids to school on time, so you swing through the drive-thru or grab a breakfast sandwich from the gas station. Or maybe some fried dough, hash browns, a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or a breakfast burrito, and you pair it with a soy milk or a latte. It feels like a good deal because it's filling, it has protein, and it's fast. But let's really look at what's happening here. Let's talk about the fried part first. When you eat something that's deep fried, you're consuming a lot of oil that has been heated to a very high temperature, often repeatedly. That process changes the chemical structure of the oil and creates a lot of free radicals. These are unstable molecules that create oxidative stress in your body. They damage your cells. Your liver, which is your body's main detoxification organ, has to work overtime to process all those damaged fats, and your digestive system, it has to pour a ton of energy into breaking down that heavy, greasy meal. That means blood is redirected from your brain to your stomach, so you're not thinking clearly, you feel sluggish, sleepy, and physically heavy after eating. You might even feel more tired than you did before you ate. It's a net loss of energy. Now, soy milk can be a decent option. It's not inherently bad, but there's a catch. Soy is a legume and it contains oligosaccharides, which are complex sugars that are hard for humans to digest. That's why it often causes gas and bloating in many people. When you combine a greasy fried item with a gas-producing beverage like soy milk, you're creating a recipe for significant digestive distress. It's a double burden on your system, plus many of the soy milks you buy in the store, especially the flavored ones like vanilla or chocolate, are loaded with added sugar thickeners like carrageenan and artificial flavors and stabilizers. So you're getting a sugar spike, an oil overload, and a digestive irritant all at once. That's a triple threat. Now, another problem I see is temperature and nature mismatch. The fried food is hot and drying by its nature. The soy milk is often served cold and is cooling by its nature. When you eat these two together, your stomach doesn't know what to do. It's like throwing ice and fire into the same pot at the exact same time. This kind of inconsistent eating creates chaos in your digestive system. It can lead to nausea, acid reflux, heartburn, or a heavy bloated feeling that lasts for hours. In traditional thinking, it's all about balance. You want foods that complement each other, not foods that fight each other in your stomach. So if all of that sounds like what you're doing, you might be thinking right now, okay, doctor, I get it. I feel like I'm failing. But what on earth am I supposed to eat then? What's actually good for breakfast? I need something practical. I'm so glad you asked. The answer, honestly, is to go back to basics. It's not complicated. It's not expensive. And most importantly, it works. For thousands of years, across almost every culture on Earth, people started their day with warm, soft, simple grains. Think rice porridge, oatmeal, grits, or congee. There's a reason these foods are foundational in so many cultures. They're warm, they're easy to digest, and they nourish your body without stressing it out. When you eat a warm bowl of oatmeal or congee, you're basically giving your digestive system a gentle wake-up call instead of a shock to the system. It's like easing into a workout with a slow warm-up jog, rather than sprinting at full speed the moment you walk out the door. Your stomach doesn't have to work hard to break it down. So all that saved energy can be redirected to your immune system, your brain function, and your physical activity. It's an efficient use of energy. What makes a good bowl of porridge? It's all about preparation. You want to cook it low and slow until the grains break down completely and the liquid becomes slightly creamy and thick. That's where all the good stuff is, the nutrients that are now easily absorbable. If you're using rice, try brown rice, millet, or a gluten-free oat like rolled oats, and you can top it with simple warming ingredients that add flavor and nutrition. A few slices of cooked pear or apple, a sprinkle of cinnamon, a small handful of fresh berries, a light drizzle of honey or maple syrup, or if you prefer a savory breakfast, a soft-boiled egg, some steamed greens like spinach or kale, and a little bit of good quality sea salt. The absolute key is to keep it simple and not to overwhelm the dish with too many ingredients. 2 or 3 complementary items are plenty. You don't need a superfood smoothie with 30 ingredients. Now, what about eggs? Eggs are fantastic. They're a great source of high quality protein and healthy fats. They're a breakfast staple for a reason. But how you cook them really matters from a health perspective. A hard-boiled egg or a poached egg is wonderful and gentle on your system. A fried egg cooked in a lot of oil or butter changes the nature of the fat and can become more inflammatory and harder to digest. So I recommend boiling, poaching, or even scrambling with a little bit of water or a small amount of healthy oil like avocado oil whenever you can. And what about that milk you're worried about giving up? If you really love milk, my suggestion is this. If you do drink it, warm it up first, and absolutely do not drink it on an empty stomach. Have it after you've eaten your solid food. That way it's not hitting a bare, empty stomach and causing that temperature shock. It's entering a stomach that already has some food in it, which buffers the effect. But if you notice that after drinking milk you're bloated, congested, tired, or have loose stools, please listen to your body. It's telling you something very clearly. You can switch to an unsweetened plant-based milk like oat milk, almond milk, or flax milk. Just check the label carefully for added sugars and unnecessary thickeners. The fewer ingredients, the better. Let's take a step back and understand why this one single meal is so crucial. The food you eat is literally broken down to create the building blocks for every single cell in your body. The nutrients from breakfast become your blood, your bones, your muscles, your organs, and your brain tissue, and the food that isn't digested properly, it becomes waste. And if it doesn't get eliminated efficiently, it becomes stored as toxins and contributes to inflammation. A poor breakfast creates poor quality fuel, which means you're building your entire day on a shaky, unstable foundation. This is especially critical for kids whose bodies are growing at an incredible rate. Their organs are still forming and developing, their immune systems are maturing and learning, and they need consistent, high-quality fuel delivered every single morning. I often tell parents that kids have what we call in traditional medicine spleen deficiency, which is just a fancy way of saying their digestive system is still developing and is relatively immature. It's a small, delicate engine that simply can't handle heavy, complicated loads. If you overload it with cold, processed, or greasy foods, it will break down faster. That breakdown often shows up as picky eating, poor appetite, or a child who is either underweight and skinny or overweight and lethargic. They might have dark circles under their eyes. They might get sick every time the seasons change. Or they might have persistent skin issues like eczema. All of these can be signs that the digestive system is underperforming and needs support and gentle nourishment. So to make this super easy to remember and implement, I want you to remember just 4 simple words: warm, soft, light, and moderate. Warm means temperature, hot oatmeal, warm congee. Heated soup, nothing straight from the fridge in the morning, let it come to room temperature or heat it up. Soft means easy to chew and easy to digest. Think cooked and softened grains, soft eggs, steamed vegetables, stewed fruits. Light means not too greasy, not too salty, and not too sweet. Let the natural flavors of the food come through without masking them in heavy sauces or excessive sugar. Moderate means don't overeat. Stop at about 70 to 80% full. That gives your body the energy to digest without feeling weighed down and sluggish for hours. If you follow these 4 simple guidelines, you're already way ahead of the game. You don't need a complicated meal plan. Now I know the biggest objection. I hear it every single day. Doctor, I don't have time to cook a hot breakfast. I'm a busy working parent. I can barely get the kids out the door with their shoes on, let alone make porridge from scratch. I hear you, I really truly do. But let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. We all have 15 minutes. We just have to prioritize it differently. Here's a simple hack. Use a rice cooker, an instant pot, or a slow cooker with a timer. The night before, put your oats or rice and water in the pot, set the timer, and when you wake up in the morning, it's hot, creamy, and ready. You just have to portion it out into bowls, or you can wake up 10 minutes earlier than you usually do. I know that sounds painful, but think about it this way. We all spend at least that much time scrolling through our phones in the morning before we even get out of bed. This is a direct investment in your child's future health. And the beauty of it is you're also improving your own health at the same time because you'll be eating that warm breakfast too. And what about the child who absolutely refuses? The one who says, my kid only wants sugary cereal. They won't eat this. They'll throw a fit. I promise you, taste buds are completely trainable. They're not fixed. If you've been feeding them high sugar, artificially flavored food day after day, their taste buds are literally numb to real natural flavors. It's not their fault. I've just been conditioned by the food industry, but you can absolutely retrain them. Start gradually, don't make a sudden switch. Mix half of their usual sugary cereal with a plain unsweetened option for the first week. Use mashed banana or fresh berries to naturally sweeten their oatmeal. Instead of adding sugar or honey, warm the milk instead of serving it cold straight from the fridge. Make the whole transition fun and interactive. Let them pick their own toppings from a small selection. Let them be involved in the process. Within just a few weeks, they'll start to prefer the real food because it's satisfying and nourishing in a way the processed junk never was. And when they start to notice, they feel better, they have more energy, they don't get as many stomach aches. They can run and play harder. They're not crashing at 10 a.m. They'll be much more willing to stick with it. The proof is in the feeling. I have seen this exact transformation happen with so many families in my practice. The parents come back to me after a few months and say, it's like we have a whole new kid. They have so much energy in the morning. They're not asking for a snack at 9:45 a.m. They're sleeping better at night. They have fewer meltdowns and they actually ask for oatmeal. It's not magic. It's not a supplement. It's just biology working the way it was designed to with the right fuel. So what I'm asking you to do is not to overhaul your entire life in one day. That's overwhelming and unsustainable. Just start with one single meal tomorrow morning. Just try one warm breakfast, see how you feel. Pay close attention to your energy at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Notice if you're less hungry before lunch. Notice if your child is more focused in their morning classes. This isn't about deprivation. It's about giving your body the fuel it genuinely needs and deserves. You know, the ancient wisdom that's been passed down for thousands of years tells us that the best medicine is the food we eat, the sleep we get, and the stress we manage. That hasn't changed one bit. We just tend to overcomplicate it with fad diets, expensive supplements, and complicated meal plans. But sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. And the simplest answer is a warm, nourishing breakfast. And let me leave you with this final thought. Your breakfast is the foundation of your entire day. A shaky, unstable foundation means a shaky, unstable day. A solid, warm foundation means everything else, your work. Your parenting, your relationships, your mood, your energy can be built on something strong and reliable. You have the power to make that choice every single morning. It's in your hands. As always, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what's your biggest challenge with breakfast right now. Are you going to try a warm breakfast this week? Let's start a conversation down there and support each other. And one more time, for the record, this video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you or your child have any underlying health conditions, please talk to your own primary care doctor before making significant dietary changes. I'm a physician, but I'm not your physician. I'm here to help you understand the science. Not to replace your healthcare team. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel and share this with another parent who might be struggling with the morning rush and the breakfast battle. We're all in this together. Take care of yourselves, be kind to your bodies, and I'll see you in the next one.